What is up, guys? I'm back with another video. Now, I know it has been a while. I could have done a video on Thursday, but I kind of had to put some thinking into some of my videos, and I'm trying to figure out how I can get back to where I can upload videos longer than 15 minutes, so I'm still working on that thing. I used to, but then I just, I completely lost it all. But today I'm going to be talking about the top 5 hardest bosses to beat throughout Fallout 4. Now, this will contain some DLCs, like one. And there is going to be some spoilers if you haven't played the game yet, because some of these bosses are actually pretty cool if you get to meet them. But, you don't really want to meet them because they're going to kill you anyways. So, at number 5, it's the Tessa boss from Quincy Ruins. Now, the thing about Tessa is it's not just her, it's her power armor that is very extremely bad. And you'll find out what's even more worse about her power armor than the next guy I'm going to be talking about, who is also going to be wearing power armor. The bad thing about her power armor is she has a special legendary weapon. Well, it's not a weapon, it's a legendary armor called Tessa's Fist. And it says it quadruples durability, which quadruple means 4 times as much. And that's pretty much deadly. Now, if you do get to kill her, I do consider picking up her fist, because it's actually really good to add with some of your power armor pieces, because it could be used as just a simple defense or offense. But she's very hard to beat because of some of the damage she can do to you, and she kind of just wanders around part of Quincy Ruins. Unlike the other 2 bosses, Baker and Clint, they stay in their own little area, but Tessa kind of wanders around the grounds of Quincy Ruins. Number 4, Clint, which is the other boss I'm going to be talking about. Now, Clint's power armor, like I was going to say, isn't as bad as Tessa's because of her legendary power armor. Now, the thing about his power armor is it actually is just Raider power armor, which is kind of junky power armor, and it isn't the best power armor. The best power armor is the XO1 power armor, and it's pretty rare. And it costs a lot of caps just to buy one piece of power armor from there. But the thing that's bad about Clint is that he is put way high on top of, I believe, a sky, like, it's not a skyscraper, it's, like a little bridge thingy in Quincy Ruins. And the only way to manage to get up there, there's actually several ways, is by going on top. The main way is going on top of the church and then going through the bridge there, and then planning on killing them. I think it actually is kind of more effective taking him down when you're closer, because he is very high up and shoots a fat man, and he's actually really accurate, so you're gonna have to be pretty far away. But he's a pretty hard boss, and I honestly think he's harder than Tessa just because of the things he can do and where he is put into Quincy Ruins. Number 3, which is Swan from Swan's Pawn in the Commonwealth. Swan is really hard to beat, especially at the beginning of the game, because once you attack this guy, he's going to run straight at you, and you're going to need a lot of action points just to run away from this guy, because he will go pretty far out of his pond. There's a lot of things to actually explore in Swan's Pond. There's a couple notes that he writes. There's a holotape, and there's really cool things you get to explore in Swan's Pond, which to me is pretty interesting. But the thing about Swan is that he's like a behemoth, but he's way different. He's like, he has a boat as a shield, like a boat part, as half of a boat as a shield. He throws rocks like a regular behemoth. Actually, he digs rocks out of the ground, I believe, and throws it. And he has a fire extinguisher to smash on you. Now he's very, very, very deadly, and I think you have to be at least level 60 or 50 to not for him not to become like a boss and have like a skull on the side of his name. But he's a very, very hard boss, but it has a pretty cool weapon called the Furious Power Fist. Now, I always question why the Furious Power Fist wasn't just like a miscellaneous legendary weapon, but it turns out it is actually a permanent weapon that you get from him. Because you can also get other Furious weapons throughout the Commonwealth. But he is a really, really cool thing, and it shows you a lot of history, but he's very, very hard to beat, considering what he does. Just tries to kill you. Number 2 is the Mirelurk Queen at Spectacle Island. Now, what's bad about the Mirelurk Queen at Spectacle Island is not just her, it's all of her protection that she has around. Also, Spectacle Island, I believe, is probably the most rated area with Mirelurks in it. It has several Mirelurks. It has a couple legendary. It has actually a lot of legendary Mirelurks. Some glowing Mirelurks, some soft shell Mirelurks. Pretty much every Mirelurk except the Blood Rage Mirelurk that you get into the Far Harbor DLC, which is only capable there. It has about five or six Mirelurk hunters, about 7 glowing ones, a couple regular ones, like 5 or 6 legendary ones, 2 Mirelurk kings, and 1 Mirelurk queen. That just basically means she is overprotected by most of her Mirelurks. The also bad thing about her is you don't have much space to get away from her. She will go in the water just to chase you, but if you go far enough away, she'll stop chasing you. But the fact is that there isn't much space in Spectacle Island to hide from all the Mirelurks. And most of the little shafts on Spectacle Island don't necessarily protect you from most of the Mirelurks. But you will get a trophy if you defeat this Mirelurk queen called, it was like something fallen, and then, I don't know. You can also obtain a bobblehead in the boat that you see on Spectacle Island. But it's a very, very hard boss because of the protection she has around her and the less of space you have. And I think it could no, it can never be. But the only way you can obtain the Mirelurk Queen is by switching on a circuit breaker, and then she will come out of the ground instantly. Number 1, Shipbreaker. Now, just because Shipbreaker is at number 1 doesn't mean he's like the hardest boss. These are just the top 5 hardest boss. But Shipbreaker is very hard, mostly because he actually is... Sorry guys, I had to pause the video for a second because of a reason. But like I was saying, just because he's put on number 1 doesn't mean he's the exact hardest boss. This is just in my opinion. But the reason why the Shipbreaker is pretty hard and is he's also hard to find because he is completely random of where you can find him in the Far Harbor DLC. Although I have a theory that it actually isn't random because I had the same location when my Far Harbor DLC had to be put back into a little bit before that. And it still had the same location of where the Shipbreaker was. But he is very, very hard to find. It does get annoying trying to look around for him. But once you get this quest, it will say Shipbreaker. And you have to go find the Shipbreaker from a distress signal and kill him. After that, you have to talk to old Longfellow who wanted the Shipbreaker dead because he always was scared of the Shipbreaker trying to kill him because he didn't know where it was. But the thing that's so hard about the Shipbreaker is that he constantly moves. He will literally, I don't think, ever stop moving. Once you try shooting him, he'll move like a kangaroo and then just run across the pond that you'll find him at or wherever you'll find him at. I do recommend bringing like an explosive weapon, like a Fat Man, just to try to kill him. And also, don't just shoot him. Like, just generally use your vault accurated targeting system to kill him, because that'll kind of slow him down, and then you can just instantly go at him. I recommend doing that because if you just regularly shoot at him, you have a very good chance that you're gonna miss if he's like running around. Getting on close combat to him is pretty hard as well, because he will start attacking you very, very fiercely. And the higher the level you are, he's gonna be higher. He is always gonna be a higher level than you. Like I seen this guy on YouTube, he was like level 75, and the shipbreaker was like level 275. But for me, he was only at level 75 for me, and I'm on like level 73 in the game, which doesn't really make sense because that's only 2 levels higher than me, and like 100 and something more levels than what that other guy had. But yeah, he's a very, very hard boss to beat. But it is interesting trying to find him, and it's an interesting fog crawler you can find in the game. So what do you guys think about the top 5 hardest enemies to beat in Fallout 4? I'm probably going to make another video after this, so like or subscribe, guys, and I'll see you next time.